What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl. I am back. I was out of town for a funeral, but I am back to making videos. Now, a few months ago, I did a reaction to a trailer that came out. Not uncommon, I do plenty of reactions, but this was one that I was optimistic about at first. I am actually a Hellboy fan. I do like Hellboy. It might probably because I grew up watching Guillermo del Toro movies, and I like Guillermo del Toro. He is yet to make a perfect film, in my opinion, but I like his movies. I like the style. I like who he is as a person and his interest in monsters and whatnot. So I remember going and seeing Hellboy with my family when I was younger, and I had a great time. So when I was like, oh cool, they're making another Hellboy movie. Wait, it's got not Guillermo del Toro? Huh. And then I did a little reaction to the trailer, and I didn't like it. I was like, this movie looks like absolute not something for me, not something I want to see, and the makeup is awful. I got flooded with comments going, You don't know what you're talking about. You're a snowball or snowflake, whatever that term is. And this is so much more accurate to the comics. It's like, oh, okay, congratulations. If it's more accurate to the comics, doesn't make it good. Just saying. Like, you can go look at Wolverine. There is no way in heck. Hugh Jackman's a great looking dude, but even he's not going to put on that costume. And guess what? Wolverine looks awesome. He's a great Wolverine. If you didn't like Logan, I don't know what's going on with you. But guess what? Guess what? I was right. I'm going to do my happy dance. I was right. Oh, guess what? It bombed. Big freaking surprise. I predicted this months ago. So let's go take a little look at the article, because I like being right sometimes. You know that feeling when it's like you knew it and then it happened and it's like, I told you so? I'm just going to gloat for a little bit because I can. So let's go take a look at this article. All right, so this is on the Business Insider magazine. So, why the new Hellboy movie was an epic flop at the box office. I wonder why. I wonder why this was a flop, guys. From awful reviews to losing visionary director Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, I will agree with that one. Guillermo del Toro is the man. The latest Hellboy movie bombed at the box office over the weekend with $12 million debut. I wonder why. I just, there's something that's like kind of off and doesn't look exactly right. But you know, I can't put my freaking finger on it. Maybe I can put my mouse on it though. Box office experts told Business Insider that the absence of Guillermo del Toro, who directed the first two movies in 2004 and 2008, hurt the movie. Well, really. I mean, we've been waiting for like the third movie for what, 12 years now? Maybe a little bit more. I mean, come on, yeah. I was excited. They kind of ended that movie. I was like, I'm excited for him to be a dad. I want to see him like have two little Hellboy / human babies and see what else is gonna go on. I was excited for that. I was down to see it. I didn't have a problem. I really liked Abe. I thought Abe was cool. The whole elf Dark Prince thing was a little weird, but it's a Hellboy movie. I'm not asking for too much. At least get the makeup right. Like, come on. This looks like it's a Halloween mask, and then like they glued it on. And just like, oh, I wonder why this movie didn't do well. I wonder. He really brought this creature feature to life without him, just like in the case of Pacific Rim Uprising. Okay. That movie you could watch. There's so many movies. It's like you just watch the trailer. It's like, oh, this isn't gonna do well. And it's like, I really wonder what the people that are making this movie think when they see these trailers. Like, just seeing that, it's like I knew instantly that Pacific Rim 2 was gonna bomb. I knew instantly watching this trailer that it was gonna bomb and not do well. It's like, can you not see it? Can you not see it? Really? And people defended this. That blew my mind when I did my trailer reaction. I was like, the makeup's so accurate. What do you mean? This looks better than the original. It's like, oh, okay. If that's how you do it. But I mean, $12 million, that kind of speaks for itself right there. Losing him behind the camera was a death knell. Jeff Bach, the exhibitor relations senior box office analyst said. You could just look at the plot you just look at the trailer. Like, there's so much wrong with that it's like really, really, I mean, even young children don't care. And most parents aren't going to take their young children to go see this type of movie. You want nightmares? Do you want your kid to have nightmares? They're not going to watch this. But those are the crowd that would believe this type of makeup. Let's see. But the absence of Del Toro isn't the only reason why Hellboy disappointed. That's true. Terrible reviews, poor branding, and an unfortunate release date didn't help. That had nothing to do with it. That had absolutely nothing to do with it. The release date wasn't going to affect how bad this movie was. This had something to do with how bad that movie was. Sacrificing really cool creature designs for just normal humans, that had a lot to do with it. You want to say this is more accurate to the comics? It's like, oh, okay, where's the rest of the creatures? That's one of the things about Hellboy. That's when I was young and I went and saw this movie, I liked that about it. He was this, dude that had a lot of cats. He was not exactly human. And I remember asking my parents, like, over and over again, why is one of his hands significantly bigger than the rest? And like, Anna, just watch a movie. Anna, just watch a movie. But when you're younger and you're a kid, it's like you ask like every single question, even if you know the answer, because you want your parents' rendition of the answer. But I liked it. I thought that was cool that there was all these like monsters, but they were nice. I thought that was awesome. 15 years after director Guillermo del Toro's original Hellboy movie hit theaters, the Dark Horse Comics character has been rebooted. This time with the director Neil Marshall behind the camera and Stranger Things star David, I'm going to butcher his last name, Harbour, in the title role. But this new Hellboy isn't sparking much excitement. I wonder why. I'm going to keep going back to this picture because this picture is pure gold. I wonder why this isn't sparking any excitement. I wonder why this isn't bringing people into the theaters. I wonder. The movie made a disappointing $12 million in this debut over the weekend, falling short of some already modest projections that put it between $14 million to $20 million. Hellboy placed third behind the repeat winner Shazam, DC's latest superhero movie, that made around $25 million, and Little, which made $15 million. I don't even know what Little is. I don't know what movie that is. But, okay, Shazam is a movie you can take the kids to. You're not going to take your kids to this. I mean, some parents would. My parents would. But, I wouldn't want to go see this movie. I like the original Hellboy movies. I didn't like this one. And yes, there's plenty of problems with that. But at least this wasn't one of them. I thought the guy that played Hellboy did a pretty damn good job. I liked Abe. Whatever. I mean, people like that, I don't understand. But whatever. Let's move on. If you had to pin the failure of Hellboy Reboot on one thing, I would say it was the imagination of Guillermo del Toro. Jeff Bach, the exhibitor relations senior box office analysis, told Business Insider. I feel like I read this already. He really brought this creature feature to life. Without him, just like the case of Pacific Rim Uprising, losing him behind the camera was a death knell. I feel like this was all pure, so okay, I guess those are just the main points of this article. I guess I don't have to read the rest of it, but I'm going to just to see what it says. But, okay, Pacific Rim, okay, I didn't like the first one. I'm one of the few people in the world that did not like Pacific Rim. I was just like, you can't think of a better way to defeat these creatures than making these gigantic machines, but whatever, that's just my own opinion. I was not into it. I didn't like the concept of it. It was just too out of left field for me. But the original Hellboy, yeah, Guillermo del Toro, that's his thing. He loves monsters. He loves monster movies. He loves creature design. That was my favorite thing to do. I love creature design as well. I get it. He's the creature dude. You have some people in Hollywood that do some weird stuff. You got Quentin Tarantino for his films. You got Guillermo del Toro for his films. They're very specific directors. Even you can look at a Wes Anderson film. You know instantly it's a Wes Anderson. You watch Tarantino, you know it's a Tarantino movie. You can watch Del Toro, it's a Del Toro movie. When you have something like Hellboy, when you have people that have been waiting for years and years and years for the third one to come out, and then we get this! No! This is not my Hellboy. This is why it made $12 million. It's so bad. You change everything, and you do I understand that you want to be different from the original one, but if you're going to do it better. Don't do it worse. Like, whoever did this, they okay, maybe I shouldn't be a makeup artist. Maybe they were, saying, hey, maybe I should do it like this, and the director's, on on top of them being like, no, I want it this way, I want it this way, and they have no creative control. They're just the makeup person doing it. I understand, but whoever made this call, you should really rethink. You should get your eyes checked or something. All right, Del Toro's 2004 movie, which starred Ron Perlman, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his last name, as the demonic superhero, opened with $23 million before inflation, and its 2008 sequel, Hellboy: The Golden Army, made $34.5 million. The first film went on to gross $99 million worldwide and had the production budget of $66 million. The sequel made $160 million worldwide and had an $85 million budget according to Box Office Mojo. You know, and I remember going to the theater with my family to see both movies, and we all liked it. Again, I thought the second one was a bit weird. I liked the first one better. I feel like most movies, you tend to like the first one better, except for me. I like Empire Strikes Back more than I like Star Wars, but that's just me. I like that stuff. It's probably because Darth Vader and everything. But anyway, they weren't box office sensations, but this new reboot is tracking to make far less. I wonder why. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like when this goes out on Netflix, if Netflix even takes it, I'm gonna have to watch it and like just film my reaction. I'm probably just gonna be laughing the entire time because this looks awful. Like this chick in the background, she doesn't even care. This dude has horns, red skin, and like a flaming fire sword, and she's just like, okay, I want this from Starbucks, and if it doesn't have extra foam, then I'm gonna be mad. Like, that's what she's doing. That's what she's talking about. And he's just like, I have a flaming sword, and she's ordering Starbucks behind me. Like, this isn't inspiring. This isn't, like, this is sad. This is really sad. Let's see. Box office sensations, but this new reboot is tracking to make far less. And Del Toro's movie have cult fan base that have kept them alive long after they departed theaters. Very, very true. There's plenty of movies that have a lot of problems with them, but have these huge cult followings. Like me, I'm a huge Labyrinth fan. That probably has to do with love David Bowie and everything about him. It's like his music just completely changed my life and like spoke to my soul. But I'll watch Labyrinth. Even like obviously it's not as in-depth and entertaining as it was when I was a child, but I'm a hardcore Labyrinth fan, and yes, that movie has plenty of problems, just like movies like Lost Boys. That's a great film. Yes, there's problems in that movie. Yes, the Del Toro movies, a majority of them have a lot of problems, but they're great movies and they have these following. But at least Del Toro gets the makeup right. Come on, he's the creature design dude, but this is just oh my god, alright, now I gotta read about Pacific Rim. Similarly, Del Toro's 2013 Monsters vs. Robot movie, Pacific Rim, grossed $411 million worldwide. I did go see that in theater. I did contribute to that. I remember enjoying it while I was in the theater, but then like when I left, I was like, I never need to watch this again. And I'm really big into creature design and monsters and stuff, so that one, though, it was a little weird for me. And I'm a weird person, but the whole concept of it, I was like, I feel like there's a much better solution than what they're doing, but that's just me. That's just mine. Yeah. Well, this follow-up from last year without him, Uprising, made $290 million. Alright, well, I mean, look at the cast. That's something I had. It looked dumb. It looked like a Power Ranger movie, like a knockoff Power Ranger movie with a big budget, and just it didn't look intriguing. Like the one thing I did like about Pacific Rim was it was all dark and grimy, and you have that sense of like, oh my gosh, there's this overlooming terror that's gonna happen. There's these monsters. It felt like you were in kind of like this life or death situation. Whereas when I saw the trailer for the Pacific Rim 2 with the dude from Star Wars, and it's all, let's do bright colors and like, yeah, let's get this pumped up music. Yeah, we're gonna go and kill these monsters. It's like, all right, this is like Power Rangers on steroids, but whatever. The absence of Del Toro in the director chair, the distant director Neil Marshall stepped in this time around, may have turned off many fans of the previous Hellboy installments. Okay, there's one thing where it's a reboot, right? So obviously we knew it wasn't going to be the same as the Del Toro version. That's fine. That's fine. There are plenty of reboots that do well. And if you're going to do a reboot, I mean, like, I feel like the best way I can put it is, okay, you have the original Batman movies. You have Batman 89, right? And then you have the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Yes, they have each of them are great in their own, like, it's very different, and you know that it's a reboot. It's still the same character, it's still the same story, but we know it's a reboot. I love the original Tim Burton Batman. I'm never going to forget the memories of watching that and that being the first Batman that I ever saw. And remember seeing Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton, and that scene with him and Vicky where Vicky's talking about Bruce Wayne and they're kind of making fun of him. Then you find out it's Bruce Wayne. It's like, oh, damn! But then you go and you have the Christian Bale Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman. And even though it's the same characters, the same universe, they're so different, but the differences are what makes it work and why that other director's vision made it successful, because they had that heart, they had that passion behind it, and they wanted it to succeed. And they're both very, very different. And guess what? People love them both. There's people that are like die-hard Christian Bale is Batman, and then there's other people that are die-hard Michael Keaton is Batman. And, but they can still acknowledge it, each set, they're good in their own, because they're different. So you could do a Hellboy and do it completely different than Del Toro did it, but, get a better makeup artist or get a better art director. It's like, at least make sure that your story is good. I feel like all of us are adults. All of us have eyes. When we're watching that trailer, there is some very big problems with it. How do you not pick that up? Like, that's something that really baffles me. It's like, you can do a reboot and do it well, so why don't you? Watching that trailer, how did you not find problems with it? There's some trailers that you instantly know you're watching that, and it's like, wow, that's gonna suck. It's kind of like sometimes when you see those commercials for medications, and it's like, oh, this medication's gonna be the best thing ever, and then it's like, oh, but if you take this, you can get amnesia. You could die of this long list of cancer. Don't take it if you're doing this, this, and this. And it's like, oh my God, you advertise it. You put all the pretty effects in it to make it seem like it's this great medicine, but then it's like, here are all these side effects, and it's like you just finished the commercial going, yeah, that doesn't sound like too good. It's like, that's how kind of what this trailer was like. It's like, oh, okay, cool, you got effects, you have a budget, but it's not gonna be good. How do they not get that? But whatever. So, you can't just blame it on the fact that it's not Guillermo del Toro, because you can do this better. A different person could have done this a lot better, and that's a really big thing on finding the right director. I'm going to be biased. I know I mentioned Quentin Tarantino earlier. I think Quentin Tarantino would do a great job. That's probably because I love him and I love his movies. And I'm really into, that would be so great to see Tarantino, because I always go back to Reservoir Dogs. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that all the intellectual conversations that are in Quentin Tarantino movies, and then you have the exact opposite. So it's like the best and the worst of what a human can be. You have the intellectual, and then you have the animalistic, reverting to that type of nature. That would be awesome to see in a Hellboy movie. I'm trying to think of a time when I've seen Tarantino do that crazy makeup and stuff, aside from Dusk Till Dawn, but that wasn't his, directing movie. He didn't direct that movie. He was just in it. He had something to do with it, but that wasn't, his movie. But that would be something cool to see. So it's all about finding the right director for something like this that can take on that. Because it's probably pretty hard to take on something that already has a fan base, a cult following, and then try to remake it in a completely different way. Which is why I think the director probably went with, let's not have Abe, let's have these other characters. But that was a big turnoff just watching this trailer. Looking at this face, it's like, no. It's not much work originally well liked. Box office person. The previous Hellboy star, Ron, I'm just going to say Ron because I have no idea how to say his last name, also didn't return, which further distanced the new movie from the originals. Okay, again, if you're doing a reboot, that is fine to have different actors. Look at Michael Keaton versus Christian Bale. They are great, and their differences are what make them great. And yes, there are always going to be the people that are diehard for one over the other, but I mean, you can look at both, and I look at both movies, and I'm like, I love them because of their differences. I know that when I go watch the Michael Keaton ones, I'm getting something different than when I'm watching the Christian Bale ones. And they're both great. I can enjoy watching both of them. So you can't blame it on the fact that it's not this director, that it's not the same actors, because that's not what a reboot is. I don't think that these people understand. Dark Horse founder Mike Richardson told a Business Insider in February that Ron wanted to come back for the third movie, but only if Del Toro returned. Okay, again, that's a continuation, that's not a reboot. And that would be great. I would love to see the third Hellboy movie. Hey, I've been waiting, since 2008? I have been waiting a long time for this movie, and I remember going and seeing it with my family, and we're just like, cool, like, when the next one comes out in a couple years, we'll all go watch it again. And guess what? Then it's over a decade. I'm still waiting for my third Hellboy movie. I'm waiting. I think both he and Ron felt they wanted to stay together, and Guillermo unfortunately decided not to be involved. Well, I wonder why. I wouldn't be involved in this. And again, this is supposed to be a reboot. Or unless I'm completely wrong, unless I have my facts wrong. As far as I'm concerned, people were freaking out in the comments of my first video because they're like, it's a reboot, Anna, it's a reboot, that's why it's different. This one's more accurate to the comics. Again, it's like, oh my god, just because it's accurate to the comics doesn't make it great. I mean, there are some, like, again, I can go on the whole Logan thing, but that's another tangent. I personally talked to him several times trying to see if he was interested, and he decided to pass. Ron wanted to do it, but only if Guillermo was directing. He added Hellboy creator Mike Mignola. I'm pretty sure I said this earlier and I just epically failed at saying his name. Mignola has created this great world that's worth exploring in films and series. It was just time to do it. We wanted to do it and get the character back in front of the people beyond the published series. And you know what's sad is people were yelling at me when I did that reaction, like, Mike's so involved with it, like, this is his vision. It's like, I'm sorry if you created, again, I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know who was the one that was like, yes, this is exactly what we want. We want Hellboy to be standing here with this burning sword and have this chick not even paying attention ordering Starbucks because she's so much more interested in what's over here than the freaking Hellboy right here, the dude, demon, human person with the flaming sword. I mean, come on. If there was someone like this in a room literally standing right next to me, you would look. But no, that's how uninteresting this movie is. That's how uninteresting this character is in this setting. This woman doesn't even freaking care. She doesn't care. Nobody cares about this catastrophe. It's not Hellboy. We're not down for it. That's why it's failing. How much more of this damn thing do I have to read? I think I read that one. There were other factors working against Hellboy. Del Toro's Hellboy's movies weren't just loved by fans of the character. Critics adored them too, but critics trashed this new Hellboy movie. I wonder why! The freaking girl in this freaking picture isn't even interested in it. Why should anyone else be? Come on. Let's see. It received one of the worst Rotten Tomatoes averages, 15% of any wide release title this year, which was a far cry from the generally well-received Del Toro films. Agerson wrote, the 2004 Hellboy film has an 81% critic score on the review aggregator. I am not reading that correctly, and I apologize for my severe dyslexia. Rotten Tomatoes and the Golden Army, Rotten Tomatoes, and the Golden Army has an 86 critic score. The reboot is a complete dud, though at 15% on Rotten Tomatoes and a lackluster C on CinemaScore, which pulls audience during a movie's opening night. You could just watch the trailer and know that it's not going to do well. You can just watch the trailer and see why people don't want to see this movie. It's that easy. While the audience response wasn't as awful as critics' responses, they weren't terribly good either. Box office analyst Doug Stone told Business Insider, reviews do impact box office more significantly than they did 10 years ago. Yeah, that's probably what Rotten Tomatoes changed its entire site because of that one person, she who will not be named. Plank. Bach said the studio that distributed the movie, Lionsgate, missed the mark with branding the movie. It had nothing to do with branding. I'm going to tell you that right now. You can put... Just because it said Hellboy, it was very clear that this was a Hellboy movie, too, and should have done more to differentiate it from the other movies. Well, I got yelled at by plenty of people to tell me that this was not a sequel, that this was a remake, that this was a reboot. So, I mean, I knew after getting everyone yelling at me, but I mean, hey, if you can't look and see that this isn't the same, that these are not the same characters, then, I mean, that's maybe average moviegoers don't do that, but that's something that I would look into. Like, most people, they pull up the movie and, read about it a little bit. I have, the little bio about it. So, I mean, I feel like most people would have known that this was a reboot. There are plenty of great stories in Hellboy comics, Bach said. And giving it its own subtitle would have helped distinguish it from the original. You know what? I kind of agree with that. If this was like Hellboy, I didn't watch the movie, so it's like Hellboy, whatever this movie is about, kind of thing. Hellboy fighting, Mila, whatever her witch name is in this. But I kind of agree with that. I do. If you're gonna start off the Hellboy, since Guillermo del Toro already has Hellboy, I kind of agree. Thinking doing that would have helped distinguish it. I agree with this. The movie's release date didn't help either, according to... Didn't I read this? Shazam pulling... Yeah, I think I read that. Again, people are going to take their kids to go see Shazam because that's more kid-friendly. You're not going to take your kid to go look at this. That is going to give a small child nightmares. Oh my goodness, mommy, there is a demon human person with a giant hand that you cannot see. There's veins popping out of his arms and his fake muscles, and his sword is on fire. Come on, that's going to scare little children. As compared to where's Shazam, where it's about a kid that turns into a superhero. That's cool. That's something kids are going to like. Let's see. I think it was down a little bit more. There we go. All right. The 2004 Hellboy film had... Oh, wait, I think I already read that. This is a long article. Oh, my gosh. Okay, actually, I'm almost done. Cool. There's a light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. Shazam. Hellboy was originally scheduled to release on January 11th, when its biggest competition would have been the Kevin Hart comedy Upside, which performed well, ultimately made $108 million domestically. I didn't watch that one. I don't know what that one's about. Another likely factor in Hellboy's less than desirable debut was the fact that it arrived sandwiched between two other high-profile superhero releases, namely Shazam and Avengers Endgame. You know what? That might have had something to do with it. I don't know why they decided. I mean, I feel like if you would have put the Guillermo del Toro version in between that, people would still go see it because people are on that big hype. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best excuse. I would say go watch the trailer. That speaks for itself. Just watching that, I told you in the damn trailer that was not going to do well. That looked awful. But you could argue the fact that, they said, oh, well, we can't make Star Wars movies anymore back-to-back because there's Star Wars fatigue, but it's okay, well, how many days before Endgame did Captain Marvel come out? Didn't Black Panther come out, right before Infinity War? It's if people are hyped about this movie, if you do the correct marketing, if you make a good movie, people are going to get excited about it, and if you market it hey, this is the best movie in the entire world, you need to see this movie, and there's going to be more after it, so you need to see this movie before the next one comes out. It's yeah, okay, I gotta go see it. Let's go. It gets people hyped. Come on. And so they didn't do a good job of advertising this movie, making me feel I need to see this movie. Maybe there's a reason why Hellboy's makeup looks awful. Maybe I need to go watch it. Maybe there's a reason why Abe isn't in it. Maybe, but no, they didn't do any of that. Now they're blaming it on this. It's well, your movie's not going to do well whenever it comes out because it was awful. Plain and simple. Just watching the damn trailer, I can tell you that movie's awful. Seeing all these articles about it, it's awful. It's bad, and I'm so I'm happy that I'm right because, it's nice to be right sometimes. It's nice when, people go off on you and then it's well, hey guys, I told you so. It's kind of nice, but at the same time, it's I really like Hellboy. I wish it would have done good. Hey, I wish that we would have gotten our third, Hellboy movie with Guillermo del Toro. I really wish we did, because I liked it. I liked the first 2 movies. I wanted that 3rd movie. I wish that happened. That would make me insanely happy. But this, it's like, but this really, this is what I have to look up to. There's a reason why this movie flopped, and it's staring you right in the face. Right in the face. Well, everyone, thank you for watching. To all of those people that left me really mean comments on my reaction, again, it's nice to be right sometimes. It's really nice. I'm sorry that you guys were that optimistic and got disappointed. And hey, if you actually liked it, great for you. I am sincerely happy for you that you were able to enjoy something like that. Good for you. Awesome. Well, everyone, until next time, if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And again, until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the force be with you, because we are really, 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 really going to need it. Bye, everyone. If you'd like to send me some mail and see me open it up on a live stream, send it to Anna, that's Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.